If you are looking for an 8-inch mid-range tablet, you've got two choices right now. You can choose between the Samsung Galaxy Tab A 8.0 2019 with S Pen and the Huawei MediaPad M5 Lite 8. Both tablets are quite similar and can seem almost identical at first. The cellular version of the Samsung One costs around $360, while you have to pay around $260 for the Huawei tablet. Well, which one should you choose? That's what you will find out in this tablet comparison. As usual, let's start with their design and build quality. The Huawei MediaPad M5 Lite 8 and Samsung Galaxy Tab A 8.0 2019 with S Pen look very similar, even though you can clearly see that one is a Samsung device and the other one a Huawei one. They are almost identical in size. The MediaPad is a bit taller and a bit thinner with 8.2mm compared to the 8.9mm of the Samsung. The Galaxy Tab weighs 325 grams, which is 15 grams more than the M5 Lite. While we get a full plastic body with the Galaxy Tab, the MediaPad has a mostly metal back. However, that one does have two plastic bars at the top and bottom, and the frame around the screen is plastic too. They do feel very similar, and even though it's plastic, the Samsung one feels a bit better built. That's mostly because the frame of the Huawei one stands up above the screen a bit. That makes it feel cheaper. Both have power buttons, volume controls and standard headphone ports. We also get a microSD card slot on each and 4G versions with SIM card slots too. Sadly, the MediaPad has the older micro USB port. That's very disappointing. Samsung is using the newer USB-C standard. You can see huge differences between their speakers. While Samsung has one single one on the bottom, the Huawei tablet has two bigger speakers on the top and bottom. That way you do get real stereo separation when watching movies in landscape view, which is not possible at all with the Galaxy Tab. In fact, the sound quality of the MediaPad is better and especially louder overall. The cameras on the Tab A have a resolution of 8 and 5 megapixels, while the M5 Lite 8 features 13 and 8 megapixel cameras. As you might expect, the photos of the Huawei tablet are more detailed. You can clearly see that. However, Samsung is applying much more post-processing, and I would say their photos look better overall because of that. That's all done in post, so you can do even more with the Huawei photos in apps like Lightroom if you are willing to do that. We don't get a fingerprint scanner on either of them, however you actually can use facial recognition to unlock both. And that works kind of decent. With that being said, they don't have any additional sensor for that, which means it won't be as secure as Apple's Face ID. Now let's get to the screens. Both feature 8-inch displays with an aspect ratio of 16:10 and a Full HD resolution of 1920x1200. That means they should be equally sharp on paper, and that's the case in real life too. Actually, the screens are almost identical. They've got wide viewing angles and offer good contrast and color reproduction. Samsung's colors look a bit more saturated, and while the Galaxy Tab has a slightly yellowish white balance, the Huawei is more bluish out of the box. But with that one you can adjust the whites and make them look almost identical. Display brightness is pretty much the same too. You can use them outside in the shadows and they are kind of usable in sunlight. However, most phones offer brighter screens. There's one major difference between the two. The Huawei MediaPad does not support any kind of active pen. With the Galaxy Tab A 8.0 with S Pen on the other hand, as the name says, the S Pen stylus is included. It fits inside the tablet itself and is supported by tons of software features. If you're looking for an 8-inch tablet with pen support, the Galaxy Tab is one of very few options, and a great option in this price range. The Samsung Galaxy Tab A 8.0 2019 with S Pen is shipping with an Exynos 7885 SoC, while the Huawei MediaPad M5 Lite 8 features an high silicon Kirin 710 processor. Both are supported by 3GB of RAM and a 32GB internal storage. As you can see in my benchmark comparison, the performance of both is almost identical. Yes, to be precise, the Huawei one is a tiny bit faster. However, percentage-wise those differences are very minor, and that's what I experienced in real life too. Both chipsets are fast enough for the operating systems and all standard tasks. The gaming experience is pretty much identical as well. For instance, you can play PUBG Mobile with HD graphics on both, and both can play it with just minor occasional stutters. And the graphics look the same. Android 9.0 Pie is running on both tablets. While Samsung is using their One UI on top of Android, Huawei pre-installed their Emotion UI. Even though their customizations look different, they have similar features. For example, we get blue light filters, power saving modes and gesture support on both. They've got new digital well-being settings where you can see how much time you're spending with which apps. Samsung made the split screen view more complicated, which is a bit annoying. However, they also included free floating app windows, which can be useful when using the tablet with a mouse and keyboard. I can live with the Emotion UI and One UI, but I do prefer Samsung's software overall. It feels much more modern to me and not as overloaded. I like the gesture to open the app drawer, and everything just looks a bit more up to date. Huawei's interface on the other hand seems not to change much at all, even compared to 5 years ago. It's alright and you can customize it a lot yourself, and you can turn on the app drawer, which is missing out of the box, but overall I just feel it looks a bit old by now. Well, everybody likes something else regarding this. However, what updates are concerned, you might be better off with the Samsung tablet. In the past, the Galaxy Tab A series usually has gotten 2 major software updates, and sometimes Huawei is updating their tablets too, but I'm not aware that any of their mid-range tablets has gotten 2 major updates. By the way, both are capable of watching Netflix in HD. Let's check out their battery life. We've got a clear winner here. The Huawei MediaPad M5 Lite 8 lasted 11.5 hours in my standard battery test, and the Samsung Galaxy Tab A 8.0 lasted 9.5 hours. I'm always looping an HD video at medium brightness for this test. If you get the LTE versions, you can use each tablet as your phone. You can make phone calls and send SMS text messages. 8-inch tablets are kind of usable as a phone replacement. Sure, they are much bigger than most smartphones, but they usually do fit in most jacket pockets and in the back pockets of most jeans. For each of my reviews, I replaced my phone with them for a couple of days, and it worked well with both. However, if you like to actually call people, you will be better off with a Samsung one. The Galaxy Tab has a real earpiece you can hold to your ear. With the MediaPad M5 Lite on the other hand, you must use headphones, otherwise everybody will hear what you're talking about. Alright, that's the end of my comparison between the Samsung Galaxy Tab A 8.0 2019 with S Pen and the Huawei MediaPad M5 Lite 8. You've seen that both tablets are very similar in some aspects, but can also have major differences regarding other features. Their screens and performance are pretty much identical. While the MediaPad has better speakers and better cameras, you get the S Pen and a real earpiece for phone calls with the Galaxy Tab. I think it's very likely that the Samsung one will get more updates in the future. With that being said, the Galaxy Tab A usually is more expensive than the Huawei tablet, so if you don't care about an active pen and you won't replace your phone with it anyways, the MediaPad will probably be the better deal, at least a better value for you. Alright, that's my comparison of the Huawei MediaPad M5 Lite 8 with the Samsung Galaxy Tab A8 2019 with S Pen. The with S Pen is very important because there's also a cheaper Galaxy Tab A8 without S Pen out there. Well, if you like this comparison, please subscribe to this channel and also check out mynexttablet.com. We've got the best section there where you can always see our current recommendations and also other comparisons between other tablets. I'm NJ, thanks for watching and see you next time.